Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thanks for stopping by. Today I am going to be working on the portico porch floor. It had a bunch of loose tiles and it was like, I don't know, a big gaping hole. So I got this idea that I was going to buy some concrete, and that's what I did. You can buy these little bags in a bucket of concrete. It was about $10, and what I like about this is it is manageable to use and it is manageable to lift up. Other bags of concrete I think are 40 pounds. I think they are close to 40 pounds, and when you are just had a back surgery not even a year ago, you really don't want to be hoisting a bunch of concrete around. Also, I didn't need 40 pounds of concrete for this patch right here. I needed $10 worth of concrete. Honestly, didn't know if this was even going to work. So I mixed it up. It came in a bag in that bucket. So you just poured some in the bucket and then added the water. That's the tip. So put the dry ingredient first and then the liquid, because you can always add more water. You cannot take the water out. But these were the tiles that were left. They were all loose when we bought the house, but they did save them. So I think we've lost some along the way, but I just used what we had, and you'll see this part looks pretty good so far. And then I had to get a tile. We had an extra tile. We had a lot of extra tile, to be honest, because I don't think the person bought the right amount. But I just broke one of the tiles and used it over on the other side. You'll see that soon. So anyways, I just barehanded it. I don't recommend barehanding it, but my nails are shot. I'm going to have those redone after we get done with this house. And you'll see that as the house renovation progresses, my self-care and hair and makeup goes out the window. We got to buckle down. The one thing I did that I shouldn't have done is I used that stick right there, and that stick had about 1 million pokers all over it. Those sharp crab legs? I think they're Alaskan snow crab legs. That's what that thing felt like. And I just powered through. So there's the other tile that I got, and I just kind of kept making the mix, and I didn't want to make too much and get too hard or whatever, so I did a little bit at a time, and it worked out pretty good. I know you're thinking, Rachel, have you ever laid concrete before? No, I haven't. I am not a skilled concrete person, but I am now. I'm going to put that on my resume. It doesn't turn out perfect. It turns out a lot better than it was. So not perfect, but better. And I'm good with that. So I'm mixing this up. This other part under the tile, that had a lot more of the concrete missing from it, so I had to really put a lot of concrete in first, then the tile, and then I smoothed concrete over the top. So we had talked to 2 contractors about getting all this ripped out and then putting tile down. And we've had some drama with the contractor. And so we were just like, you know what, let's just patch it and it'll look fine. And it does look fine. And we didn't have to go through the headache of ripping it all out and redoing it, or that cost. So here I took the tile and I just threw it against the concrete bird feeder, and that's how I broke it. And I closed my eyes so I wouldn't get any concrete or any tile in my eyes, and I stood way far back, Mother, if you're watching this. But it broke it into small enough pieces that I could kind of puzzle piece it together. You'll see, the other part of the patio, this is what they did. So Here I'm just trying to smooth it in, and I want it to be even, not like, I wanted it to be pretty level with the other part of the floor. I used every bit of this concrete. I just barehanded, grabbed it, threw it on there, smushed it in, smoothed it out. And I know you're thinking it looks like a hot mess right now, and you're correct. But I had a vision and I stuck with it. I split this project into 2 days. This was the first day, and then you need to let the concrete cure overnight. And I literally just made that up. I know you got to do it for a long time. It might be more than 24 hours, but at least 24 hours. And when I came back the next day, it was nice and dry. This is the next day, and I was in town, and so I went ahead and went to Lowe's, and I had already purchased these planters from Ross with a vision of this porch, and I was checking to see if they had any drainage holes, and they did not. So I knew that I would need to put some drainage holes in them. I guess technically I didn't need to, but I really didn't want to like shortcut these planters because I'll just take them home after this house sells. So I went ahead and did this step, and then I can reuse the dirt. And if the flowers live, that's a plus, but they may or may not, who knows. It was slim pickings at Lowe's with the flowers. They had only 132,000 mums, which I refuse to buy mums because I cannot keep them alive. I say that, but then I had some that came back this year and bloomed all summer, but now they're dead. So mums are not for me. I'm not buying a mum. I thought that plant right there looked kind of like a mum, so I bought those, and they're like a pretty light blue color. I'll also say that they were very expensive. All these plants were like $8 to $11.98 per plant, which I think is very high for plants. I usually go to a local nursery, but I didn't have my checkbook, and you got to have cash or checks. So I went to Lowe's. I was already there getting paint anyways, and this is what I got. They're very pretty, and I hope that they live. The ivy that I bought was crusty, like it is needing a drink of water. I grossly overestimated how much potting soil I would need. I bought 3 bags. I needed 1 and about a teaspoon of another bag. So that's okay. I can use potting soil at my regular house another day, another time. So I went ahead and started filling up these pots. I did the biggest one first, and then I overfilled it and had to get some of it out. And I went in with the white pretty flower. I don't remember the name of it. It looks like a daisy. And that's the tallest one, so I put that kind of, I was going to put it in the center and then put them around it, but I put it in the back kind of, because I'm planting these for pictures of the front of the house, so I thought it would look better if it was like tall in the back, and then a medium plant, and then the little plants, and then one spilling over. So that's kind of how I did that. I think that these hot pink flowers right here are some of the prettiest flowers. I have no idea what the name is, but those were the ones that were $11.98, but they had 3, maybe 4, I think 3 plants in each of the containers. So really you can split those up and get 6 plants for $12, so that's 2 each, and that's girl math. I really think that if I can get this ivy to get a big drink of water and rehydrate, I think it'll look really pretty once it starts spilling over, looking healthy and looking kind of really classic and traditional. And then I just filled in the dirt all around the plants and kind of straightened them out and gave it a look, and I liked it. Went ahead and did the other two, and I didn't put the hot pink, no, I didn't put the blue flower in the blue container because I only bought two, and it was a small container. And this is the fun part. It looks so pretty. Okay, back to the deck. Next up, I needed to sand all the rough parts off of the concrete patch. And I used our heavy-duty DeWalt sander. And it has a built-in sand catcher or something, debris catcher. I don't think it catches anything. I think it just throws the dust and debris everywhere. So yeah, it always makes a mess. But I went ahead, sanded it down. It's got like 40 grit sandpaper on it, and it didn't get it perfectly smooth like the rest of the porch, but it did do a pretty good job, and it made it at least smooth to the touch, and you're not gonna like cut your foot on it if you go barefoot. So after I got that sanded, it was time to give the porch a good sweep. My husband had just laid, I don't know, 40, maybe 40 bags of mulch. Let's see, 36 and 15, that's what, 51 bags of mulch. And it's pretty and black, and I didn't want to get any of this concrete dust or leaves or dirt or anything in his. So I just swept it straight down the porch. I don't know where my dustpan is, and that's okay. So we just swept it right down the front stairs. And you really want a nice, clean surface before you use the concrete paint. After I swept, I got a wet microfiber cloth and gave the porch a good scrub and got all that dust up to where I wouldn't have any like extra texture in the paint, because when the paint dries, it's really shiny. It's like a high gloss paint. You don't want dirt or little bumps or anything really in the paint. I knew that once I painted this porch, I would need to get in and out of the house a different way. So when I opened up the patio glass door to make sure I could go in and out of the house. And this is just a ready-made patio and porch paint in light gray. I had them shake it, and I did not have it tinted a different color. This is the color it comes. And I hate when I do stuff like this. I pour the paint in on the handle. So anyways, I didn't have them tinted because I liked the way that the concrete looked when I patched it, and it kind of softened up the area, and anything was better than this red brick. No offense if you have red brick, it has its time and place, but we painted the whole house white, and the red brick with the gray concrete patch, it needed some help. After one coat, this is what it looked like. It already looks a lot better. I had to let that coat dry completely, and I had a whole nother project going on at the mailbox, so I worked on that. And just went in and did the second coat. And you'll see I paint myself out of the porch. But here's the finished product. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and it'll motivate you to paint your porch. Thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe.